Hey guys, Colin here, and just wanted to talk a little bit about what we're seeing in the charts so far. So, of course, everybody's been anticipating for quite some time now, what is Bitcoin going to do? As you know, we've plunged from 65,000, a little over 64,000, down to 30, 29, 28,000, call it. And now it's a bit of sideways movement. But of course, everybody was talking about this triangle that we had been forming in the charts, and we were waiting to see what Bitcoin would do. And initially, Bitcoin actually broke to the upside. It broke to the upside, and then it ended up rolling over. So it was a bit of a fake out because normally what people would do is, let me do this here. We want to take a measured move. All right, let me get my drawing tool out here. Okay, normally you would take a measured move. Sorry, let me just get my, sorry about that guys, let me just get the settings. Let me take this extension off of the right side. Okay, so that it's only this length. Good. So now we would drag this down here and say, look, if we broke down, that gives us a bearish price target um, way down here to like 20, what's that? Put myself up there. Take off the auto scale, and that takes us down to about $22,000. All right, if we took that measured move from this triangle, from this downward movement here, that would take us down to about $22,000. And there are some scenarios that we got to think about. For one, when we really look at the weekly chart, we never properly, we never properly came back down and tested the $20,000 range from the time we broke out, guys. Right? I mean, we knew that 20,000 was the breakout level. We finally got it, in December of 2020. And normally, as soon as you break out of an area that has been major resistance, you would like to see it come back down and form support on that level. And as you can see here from on the weekly time frame, we never did that, right? We never did that. So there's a possibility when we take our measured move here, and I think my measured move is a little conservative, it could take us right back down to the $20,000 level, which would make sense. Which would make sense, guys. To be quite honest, it would just be retesting this major area that should now be the floor, right? 20,000 was the ceiling for 4 years. And so for us to break out of it, it would make sense to come back down and retest that $20,000 level to confirm it as support now, right? We see the 200 week moving average is now at 13,000. But first, normally the 50-week moving average would form as a bit of support and should give us a bounce or two. As we can see, we already got a bounce from the 50-week already when we came down the last time, and we bounced from 28,000 to 40,000, right? So that was a pretty good bounce when you think about that. So right now, this is what we're watching in terms of what's playing out here. Okay, we see that, I mean, this is a very strong looking candle. I mean, it looks like we want to come back down, at least touch base at the 29,000, call it $30,000 level. It looks like we want to come back down here again. Let's take a look at the MACD. MACD, of course, is also looking, it's looking very strong in terms of this downward push, right? We see very thick The histogram is very thick in the red right now. But of course, on the RSI, now on the weekly and the daily, still room to move down. We may get little bounces just because on the smaller time frames we are massively in oversold territory, right? I mean, we were down to 20 on the 1 hour time frame, so there's no surprise that we took a little bounce and we went from 32,004 to 33,000, so maybe 3 or 4% there. Came down again actually right here, 32.1 to 33.2, so again 3 or 4%. But this candle is looking pretty insistent at this point. Now, guys, what we're talking about here, to be quite honest, there's no reason to stress, because this is completely different than 2017. And when I say that, I simply mean that there's no there's no guesswork anymore in terms of, well, where is crypto going. Everybody should know beyond the shadow of a doubt now that cryptocurrency, Bitcoin is just going up. There are going to be, many coins that collapse and disappear, but Bitcoin, we know Bitcoin is not going anywhere. Ethereum is not going anywhere. XRP, love it or hate it, is not going anywhere. Our top coin, Neo, coins like that, our top coins that have been around for years that are strong, they're not going anywhere, guys, okay? They're not going anywhere. And this is not, some people are wondering if that was the top of the bull market. Well, then that would be unlike any other bull market that we've ever seen. No bull market ever ends like this. This was weekly divergence, so it was not about Elon Musk and his tweets. Guys, you look at the divergence. We were way oversold. I mean, overbought. Way overbought. For weeks. This was from January. We were in overbought territory. Came down. And we came back up. We formed a lower high on the weekly. But we formed a higher high in the charts, in the price action. That's bearish divergence right there. Right? We came down again for a dip. And again, on the weekly, we formed another lower high. We formed a lower low and another lower high. Yet, in the price action, we formed another higher high. Again, guys, these are just those are two major red flags that said, look, a cool off is coming because there's bearish divergence in the charts. Okay? So this was long before Elon Musk's tweets. I mean, this is in March, once again in March, right? And again, in April, we saw yet again another lower high in the charts, but we, came and kind of sucked people in, so to speak, with that wick that went through this level. But it's about where we close, right? You look at where the candle body actually closes. Still closed below this level. So this was coming. Right? This was coming, and in the charts it said it was coming. The only reason that any of us would have gotten caught in that trap, so to speak, is simply because of emotions. We didn't pay attention to what the charts were saying. We simply focused on emotion the entire time. Now, here's the one thing that I am looking at. I drew this trend line here from the top of this wick to the top of that wick, and I've had this trend line for a little while now, actually, from the time we came back down and formed support. And as you can see right now, so far, Bitcoin is respecting this trend line. Okay, so far it's respecting this trend line. I mean, will we see this kind of sideways action long enough for it to kind of get down here? Back down to this $30,000 level. That still remains to be seen. I mean, like I said, it's broken down right now beneath this support line that it was at. It broke beneath here, and it hasn't been able to get back over this trend line that was support initially. So now, of course, this trend line is going to be the trend line that we need to get above and confirm as support for us to really, I think, take it seriously in terms of, okay, this is probably time for the move up. Okay, that's going to be something we're going to have to look out for. But so far, let's see how much will Bitcoin respect this trend line right here. Let's see how much it will respect this trend line. So this trend line at the same time was resistance, right? Resistance since May, since the 20th of May. This has been resistance. We've broken out of this resistance trend line going down like this, and now we're forming support. Normally you'd break back up at least to the beginning of where that trend line, that resistance trend line started, which at this point is somewhere around, I think, 45,000, somewhere around there. But let's see how that goes. But at the end of the day, guys, look at it in terms of the broader perspective. The smart money, hedge funds, corporations, all of the major players that refused to come into this space 4 years ago are all diving in. And I can guarantee you, as long as we're selling, they are going to be buying, because they're not just looking about what's going to happen to the price of Bitcoin over the course of the next few months. They're looking at it as, where is this going to be in the next 5 years, 10 years? And they know that it's going to be ridiculous returns. So you don't want to miss out on that. You don't want to miss out on that, guys. So this is, once again, just a short-term analysis. But if this does go back down and retest its previous low, then we can look at some things that are going to be very similar. For example, XRP. Right, XRP might, as you can see, we're fighting with this support line at the 0.23 level right now at 85 cents. XRP might come back down to the 65 to 75 cent level, right? It might come back down here if Bitcoin goes back and revisits this, because whenever Bitcoin goes down, the altcoins go down even harder, right? So XRP might do that as well. I'm not very concerned about XRP going below the 65 cent level, because if it does, it would be very short-lived, because this level that we finally broke out from was resistance for over 3 years. And once again, we came back down, as you can see, got a major bounce from 66 cents all the way up to over $1. So, which was more than a 50% bounce. So if we come back down again to retest, it wouldn't be anything of great concern for me. I think this is a necessary cool down that the market needed. And so, just bear in mind, every dip is a great buying opportunity, guys. Every dip is a great buying opportunity. But just based on the past, this doesn't look like the end of the bull run to me. So I just wanted to give you guys this update. Crypto is here to stay. It's not going anywhere, and you've basically been given a test with all of the answers, because you know at the end of the day where the market is going. All of these very serious projects. Okay, there's thousands of cryptos. Most of them are not worth anything. Most of them are not, I'm telling you. But the major serious crypto projects, there's only one direction, and that's up. Temporarily, might come down, sure. But overall, long term, it's up. You know it ahead of time. If you're willing to be patient, your patience will be rewarded. All right, guys. So until next time, we'll talk again soon. Take care.